Hey, this is Max. Welcome back to another CSR2 video. I'm here with the Championship Showdown. We got a few hours left in this event. This is the first of the showdowns where Natural Motion has warned us that they've switched basically back to the old ways. They gave us the dyno-based showdown for a while, and now it's going right back to what it was, which is basically he who has the fastest car wins. It is more trophy-based, and therefore the slower cars simply won't have a chance to advance. So your best bet is always going to be your top 10 car, purple star, fully maxed. While most of this game is not pay to win, Showdown, due to the nature of how it's designed, tend to fall into that category in my opinion. This Showdown, particularly going back to the trophy-based setup, more or less has reestablished the hierarchy of he who has everything wins. There's a little additional wrench in the works, which is hackers, because they can come in with cars that look like it's slower than yours, but run faster. Like, if we were going by hierarchy, I cannot lose to this guy here unless I totally screw up my run. But if he has the additional, for example, fusions, he would simply lose. I mean, he would simply win, and I would simply lose. Now, this player probably wasn't too aware when he started. Looks like he's just cruising down the track here. Or he just knows that he can't win and he just gave up. This is the problem with the trophy-based showdown, which I've never liked from get-go, and that is you basically go into a race knowing full well if you're going to have a chance or not. As soon as I see the opponent car, and if I'm not using the Apex car, which is the purple star version of this Jaguar I'm using, then I have no chance. But if I have the Jaguar and it's fully maxed and I see one of these other guys, then they have no chance. So, it's, it's not quite really a competition at that point, right? Again, it's basically bring the best thing and know that you can beat 99% of the players out there, and then the few players that'll beat you will be one, the guys that have the same car, can have a device that runs it real well, where they're really good at running world record times, they'll beat you. Theoretically, this car should run 7.99 in the hands of an expert. Realistically, iOS device probably have a better chance of getting that than Android devices. There is some definite skill involved. I'm not trying to underplay that. Launching it just right, shifting it at the right mile per hour, at the right RPMs, using nitrous in the right gear, all comes into play. But basically, the rest of these guys have no chance. Once you get to the trophy matchmaking, fastest car is always going to be the fastest car. So I am not going to lose to the slower cars. It just doesn't happen. Okay. Now, some people are probably still trying to get beyond 800 trophies with the dyno thing. Guess what? I'm sorry. It's just not going to work for you. This guy's running in first gear. Either he actually is on the phone and forgot about the race, or he's just simply angry that I have the Jaguar that's going to beat his Jaguar and therefore runs it really slow. Remember, we had a lot of raging in Showdown for a long time because of this trophy matchmaking crap. And then we have less raging for a while when we have the dyno matchmaking, but somebody must have been complaining a lot because Natural Motion decided to switch it back. The other reason they might have decided to switch it back is people are probably not paying to upgrade their cars, which is a big deal for the game maker. They need that in order to have the game advance and put out new cars. So if they look at their bottom line and go, wait a minute, we changed the showdown, now people are not paying because they can adjust dyno and use a hot build car to win, that's no good for us. We can't have that. So out goes the new dyno system, in comes this system, and now we're back to status quo, which is you basically either have the right car or you lose. So I didn't really play much Showdown this whole season. In fact, I didn't play much this whole season because, well, this Showdown doesn't have any interest for me. I mean, I can grind through it just like anybody else with a fast car, get pretty far, maybe around 1,800, 2,000 trophies if I'm dedicated, and then you're stuck. With the dyno-based one, we had people going up to 3,000 trophies and actually getting those final rewards that were kind of dangled before us all this time with Showdown, and very few people ever reached. Now it's back to, well, you'll be lucky if you can get over 2100. And for guys that are newer players that don't have the car, don't have the Apex car, you'd be lucky to get past 1500. So that's the reality of this thing now. And unfortunately, as much as we grind, it's not going to get any better. I mean, this, unless they change back to the dyno based again, this is going to be what you're going to be dealing with in all showdowns. Now, remember, even if you're just grinding for SP points, you still need to win to get good points. Losing gives you like 9 points, 7 points. Even with the bonus boost, you're lucky to make 15 points. And that's going to be extremely frustrating when you're competing against another player that has the boost car, fully maxed, winning, making a lot more points, and you're going to be losing. So that's unfortunately, again, a side effect of this aspect of Showdown. So out of all the game, I mean, this game generally, I've always told players that this is not necessarily a pay-to-win game, because live racing, you don't need a fully built car to succeed, and you can make RP points and win milestone cars without ever having to invest huge amounts of money. But Showdown, now this is more or less a pay-to-win type situation with the current structure. There's no way around it. You need the Apex car. You need to build the Apex car. And if you're the kind of guy to always want to chase high rankings in Showdown, well, you're going to have to either pay or make friends with somebody who can give you cars for free. So that's really the reality of Showdown. And I'm just kind of driving through this for a few runs and I'm done. I am no longer pushing at all to try to push far in Showdown, simply because there's no tuning involved. There's no real joy in finding that balance in that bracket to try to advance. So I can just take the Apex car and just, run people over for a bit and get somewhere. As you can see, I'm somewhere in the like 1400 trophy. And because I'm doing this in the last day, last hour or so, last few hours or so, I'm running into much slower cars because the, quote, structure and tiering of the Apex cars have already been set. Most of these guys are probably up in the 1800, 1900 trophy already, and they're battling it out over there. And all the slower guys are still battling out over here until they run into someone who's just last minute trying to climb the ranks like I'm doing, in which case, unfortunately for them, a bunch of losses. I mean, and again, this is not anybody's fault, except it's by design of the developers. So it's, this is Showdown. This is how it was designed originally. And this is how it was in beta, how it went into the official version. And they've never really tried to rebalance it, except for doing that quick dyno thing to try to push out some hackers. But that didn't work out, and now we're back to the same situation that I've seen in the past 2-3 years, which was one of the reasons I never really loved Showdown for any reason. Okay, so, and that is a quick demonstration of the current Showdown matchmaking. Again, back to trophy system. And therefore, anything over 750, 800 trophies, you can forget about matching up based on dyno. You will lose against a faster car. It's simple as that. Any comments or questions, feel free to ask them. But again, I am just running a few Showdown races to kind of demonstrate how things have moved back to what it was. If you like this video, leave a like. Feel free to comment on the video. If you like my channel, I do put up videos about once every week. And if you subscribe and hit the bell, you will get notifications when I put up those videos. And as always, thank you for watching my videos. I'll catch you next time.